Here we are at, kind of ground zero for the ZenCash team. This is Rolf. He invited me over to, do a video. We spoke about 2 months ago, before I even started making videos, and it was amazing just speaking with you initially. And now I think that ZenCash is out there, it's on the market. It has a community, has a following. Kind of, you guys can see, we can see you guys are literally building this thing up from the ground floor. So would you be able to speak on how that process is going and, kind of the value that ZenCash is creating for the cryptoverse?
Sure, absolutely. So I got started with the ZenCash, gosh, back when I started mining Z Classic. So Zcash launched, I guess, about a year ago, and the facility we're in is my big mining facility. And we went back and you saw the expansion that we're doing. I'm very excited about that. We should have about 400 miners when we're done here. And so this is a good place to be. And we're in a high-tech area of Georgia, this Alpharetta area. There's a lot going on here. A lot of data centers around here. We got good power, and it's a good place to do this kind of stuff. So I was mining Zcash, and then Z Classic started, and that was a good one to mine and make money on. And I was talking to people in the community, and one of the things that I noticed in cryptocurrencies is it's really important to have a good community, a good strong community, and there's people from all walks of life and all interests come in, and they all can contribute in different ways, which makes it a lot of fun. And then everybody has all sorts of different perspectives as well,
right.
And so you got to be open to listening to people's perspectives on things.
Right.
But I was just telling my business partner back there, he's like, the price is going up so high with Bitcoin, what's going to go on? I'm like, well, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. But I tell you, this is the fourth, fast-growing industry that I've seen, and I missed out on the PC revolution, I missed out on the start of the internet. I was kind of there for the .com, I was working for Cisco Systems, and then I'm like, I'm definitely going to be here for the cryptocurrency industry. So we got together with, I got together with some other folks that are part of the Z Classic team, and we're like, hey, we should do this, we should do that, we should take in some best practices. And the folks are like, well, Z Classic has a very good charter of being a no-cost version of Zcash. We need to do something new if we want to do that. So I was able to get together with a few other folks, and we said, well, we're going to take some best practices from Zcash, the blockchain technology from Bitcoin, the ZK snark, the zero knowledge proof technology from Zcash, and then some of the governance and reward models of Dash, and kind of put that together and work to run it in a kind of a professional manner.
Right.
And I think that's an evolution that's happening. You're seeing that probably with some of the ICOs. You talked how you've been involved in covering some of the ICOs. Yeah. And one of the things that they need to do is when they get a big chunk of money like that is immediately put in place a professional and experienced team that knows how to have all the different elements of a project. I think some of the early cryptocurrency projects started out with maybe a key developer, and then they kind of grew from there. I think we're kind of past that. I think you need to have a team and different folks that can contribute in different ways, and then scale the organization as it grows, because the community expects so many different things. They're like, okay, we got to get on this exchange, you got to get on this hardware wallet, you got to get on these different devices. So what is it? So you got to be able to figure out how to grow.
Right. That's what I was going to add. I mean, you've covered so much already. Let's start with the scaling, right? Because one of the things people expect with an ICO, they expect to make money. Well, you only make money when, as far as that perception goes and kind of the status quo, you make money when you get on a major distribution exchange. Well, we know the price crashes when you go on an exchange. So, but then you have to, exchanges aren't free. They're a business in themselves, and then you need to get on, Ledger or whatever it is, whatever, hardware infrastructure. So as you look at, cryptocurrency and FinTech and, kind of these big bureaucracies that more or less stagnate scaling and mainstream adoption, how do you see, you guys playing that part and navigating those channels?
Sure, yeah, and great question, because this is really only the very beginning of the cryptocurrency industry. And when I talk to people, I'm like, well, it's not just an investment. It's not just an online token that you can put money into and hope it goes up. It's the financial system of the future.
Right.
And for other projects that are Ethereum or do smart contracts, it's possible to disintermediate the existing ways of, for example, holding title to various things or doing insurance. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and a lot of things are going in a lot of different directions and experimenting in a lot of different ways. So, but what you bring up is, okay, there's the price of the cryptocurrency and then there's the project itself. And even that has two vastly different viewpoints. And I see this because we have our Slack and now we've primarily moved to Discord. Whenever our price jumps up and then comes back down, I just get ready for all the people who bought at the high to come in and say, what are you going to do to get the price up? I'm like, well, we don't do anything to get the price up. Our focus is on making a usable cryptocurrency or a usable, crypto project. And then over time, some people might see value in what we're doing. And over time, if we continue to go down the path of development and acceptance and gaining usefulness, maybe more people want to buy our token, and then the price will go up. But we can't do anything to drive the price up. Then we get people who kind of ask it in a sideways way. Well, you say you're going to do this. When exactly are you going to have it done? I'm like, well, we're working as fast as we can.
The roadmap says this.
But are you going to have it done by November 20th? I'm like, I don't know. Why are you asking? Are you hoping to contribute?
You want to cash out on the 19th?
Exactly. And so, that becomes a little bit frustrating. But I also understand because price is important. Because the way now ICOs are a recent phenomenon. Bitcoin itself, Bitcoin is started out and is, that price just goes, and some of the early crypto projects just go. And with ICOs, I think it's really tough. If I was part of an ICO, I'd be like, wow, I have $50 or $100 million to spend, and you see that with Tezos right now. It's like, okay, instead of the focus being on the project or on development, the focus is on what are we doing with the money? And should that really be the focus of the project? But however, you can hire a whole bunch of developers for money like that. So I don't know, it goes back and forth. We're kind of doing a bootstrap, and I can explain that in a little bit.
No, that would be awesome. I think that's the biggest point of difference I've seen with you guys is it wasn't an ICO. It's kind of from the ground floor. We're like in the office right now. So how do you manage that day to day? Seeing both sides, understanding the investing side, but also seeing the business development side, and still managing to build it out.
Sure. Well, the way that we started our mining facility here was we figured, okay, let's try to keep our costs as low as possible. If we can keep our costs as low as possible, then we can compete with anybody in the world, whether it's China or Russia or any government-backed money. As long as we keep our costs really, really low, then we don't have as much downside. And I had the fortune of starting an IT business back in 2002 and bootstrapped that. Started it on credit cards, which was difficult at the beginning, but it was also good that it forced us to keep our costs low and become very efficient in our business. So when we talked about how we were going to fund and grow ZenCash, we did it by a chain split, which pretty much everybody's familiar with chain split these days now that we have Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin and the other ones are doing it. But we did it as a chain split off Z Classic. And whoever had owned Z Classic at the time immediately owned ZenCash. And we had a great partner in Bittrex who agreed to list ZenCash on Bittrex at the time, so people were immediately able to start trading it. So that gave us an immediate community and people that care. And that was a big boost because I still think we have one of the best communities in the cryptocurrency world. People just kind of come together. And so after that, we said, okay, we're going to do 8.5% of the mining reward. So a lot of cryptocurrencies, 100% of the mining reward goes to the miners. And that's important. Zcash, 80% of the mining reward goes to the miners and 20% goes to the foundation and to pay back the investors who funded Zcash. I think that's a great way of funding. I think projects have to have some way of funding. Because when Bitcoin was started, people were doing it on the side maybe, but now it's kind of turning into full-time jobs. I mean, I spend most of them every day working on ZenCash. And, fortunately, mining doesn't take as much time. But having said that, we launched our cryptocurrency. We went through some wild price swings, and slowly it's gone up in price over time. And we're able to take a little bit of the funds, the 8.5% mining reward that we redirect from miners to the treasury, which is managed by the nonprofit Zen Blockchain Foundation, which has 5 directors. And then we have the idea that everything that we spend every month is going to be open to public scrutiny as we move our treasury model and governance model forward.
Nice.
And that's one of our next development projects after secure nodes.
Nice.
But having said that, when we first launched, and our price I think went down to $3 equivalent or something like that, we didn't have a lot of funds, so we had started to contract with marketing and PR and things like that, and we're like, hey guys, we got to put that on hold. And then our core team that helped us out with all sorts of different things, technical and design, and people that get out and talk to folks, we give them a small amount of Zen every month, which over time, that builds up. And if price goes up, that's very helpful. And I don't know if you know, but we did have an issue about a week after we launched where our lead developer found a flaw that caused some transaction replays to happen, and he decided to leave the project. Fortunately, we have some really good friends in the cryptocurrency industry, so we're able to get a development team in to fix that and then add improvements to it. And that's actually, being attacked early, which is what happened to us, is kind of difficult, but it forced us to kind of say, okay, what's important about this, about what we're doing, and to focus in on saying, how can we prevent being attacked in the future? And also, we're saying, okay, we don't want to be relying on any single person. If I step out of the picture, I want ZenCash to continue operating, and we want that way for any person. And so now we do multiple different development teams. Like we have 3 different main wallets right now that different development groups are working on. And we contract with folks. And we, one of my co-founders, Rob, he was an officer in the Air Force, and while he did that, he was a project manager. I mean, what a great skill set to have as part of a cryptocurrency project, a project manager, right? And so, I helped run business, and the business that I started and grew, and I ended up selling that, which is why I have time now. But yeah, the business experience. So we're not developers, but we're able to contract with developers, and we're technical enough. I'm an electrical engineer, and Rob's a physics and math major with some good experience that we can understand big picture what's going on. So with Zen, we keep our costs low. And we have a budget, and we plan ahead, and if the price on the exchange goes up, then we're able to accelerate our plans. We're able to contract with more developers. We're able to increase our marketing, and do other things like that. And if the price goes back down, well, we cut back a little bit. So it's kind of a bootstrap, and it's a self-rewarding system where the better we do, and the market rewards us by driving the price up, and then we can do more.
Nice.
Nothing is fancy here.
Wow.
This is a 3,500 square foot warehouse. We got a little shop where we repair our equipment here that's broken. Got some hand miners got to work on. I just haven't had time for that. Got a motherboard that broke. We got big fans with air coming in, and then we got filters. It's important to filter the air that comes in, and then we got a tub to wash it out. It's not all glorious stuff. And we keep all our boxes, because I figure what I learned is that people in other countries sometimes have free electricity and they buy used equipment. So when the next generation of equipment happens, we're going to sell our used equipment.
That's awesome.
And that might not be for a couple of years. Now here we got some Antminer D3s and Antminer L3s. We got Antminer S9s, and then we got GPU miners back here.
That's crazy.
Electric power. So we got a 208 volt. 1200, that's my business partner Chris. 1200 amps, 3-phase there, and then so we're doing another 1200 amps, 200 volts, 3-phase, and then look at this cable. It's a copper cable. It's heavy. It's big. It's thick. It carries up a lot of electricity.
And
so
That's crazy.
It gets a little noisy in here, but this is where we bring air in. You can see we're going to get 2 more fans up there. And each of these is 30 amps. We got a bunch of amp miners,
Right.
switches, power supplies.
Wow.
They just mine 24/7. It's awesome.
Crazy! Wow. This is awesome, man.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Wow. That's pretty cool. That's so cool. And then I know you talked about last time, we talked about just the simple engineering you guys are using to move the air in here.
Alright, so I do about 300 cubic feet per minute.
Yeah.
Airflow per miner.
Yeah.
Whether they're GPU miners, basic miners, whatever.
Wow.
There's some tables that are too hot. So we bring the cold air in,
Yeah.
the miners heat up the air,
Right.
rises, and it goes out. And it's
Nice.
much fancier.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like a lot hotter on this side than it was over there. Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
man.
really hot, isn't it?
That's crazy. It's at least 20, 30 degrees hotter right here.
Yeah, it bumps the temperature up about 20, 30 degrees as it goes through.
Wow.
Here, try to lift one of these off.
Shit! That's real copper right there.
That's real copper. I mean, this is just